The movie begins in a city that has become completely deserted. Here, some monsters exist that follow sound and kill the people who make noise. In this city, a family lives. The man's name is Lee and his wife's name is Evelyn. They have 3 children named Marcus, Regan, and Bo that quietly enter a store to collect some food and also to get medicine for Marcus, who was sick. Bo was taking a toy from the shelf when suddenly it fell, but at the right moment, Regan caught it before it could hit the ground and make a sound. If the toy had fallen and made noise, the monster would have come. Lee removed the batteries from the toy so it wouldn't make any sound. Bo insisted on taking the toy home. Regan secretly gave him the toy. After collecting supplies, they were heading back home. They had made a path to their house, covered with white sand, and they walked barefoot on it, so no sound would be made. After walking some distance, they reached a bridge. There, little Bo pressed the button on the toy. His sister Regan, who was deaf, was walking ahead of him and didn't hear anything. But Lee heard the toy sound and quickly ran to save Bo. But it was already too late. The monster attacked Bo and killed him. Later, the movie shows Lee's house. Many CCTV cameras are installed there so he can keep watch on the monsters and stay alert if they attack. In the basement, Lee has built a lab where he has set up many electronics, radios, and other systems. He does his research there. So far, Lee has discovered that there are 3 monsters in this area. Evelyn was pregnant. She had already prepared a box with an oxygen cylinder for the baby. So when the baby was born, they could hide it inside the box. Since babies cry during birth and the monsters would hear it, in the next scene, Lee is making a device for his daughter because Regan cannot hear. Regan was about to enter her father's lab when Lee held her hand and told her not to go inside, which made her upset and she left the house. Lee explained to her that many electronic devices are inside, and touching them could create sound. Lee gave Regan a device and told her to wear it in her ear, but she was still upset and didn't want it. Lee still placed it in her hand. In the next scene, Lee and Marcus go fishing. Regan also came and asked to join them, but Lee gestured that she should stay and take care of her mother. Upset, she left and went to the place where her brother Bo had died. She felt her father didn't love her. Lee took Marcus to a waterfall and told him they could speak here because the sound of the water would cover their voices. Marcus asked if he loved Regan. Lee replied that he loved her very much, but she misunderstood him. While returning home through the forest, suddenly a crazy old man appeared. His companion had died. Lee gestured to him to stay quiet, but the old man, in his madness, screamed loudly. Lee and Marcus ran and hid. A monster attacked the old man and killed him. Meanwhile, Evelyn was looking at Bo's picture when her labor pains suddenly began. No one else was home. She tried going down the stairs but stepped on a nail that pierced her foot, and she dropped a picture frame. She was in pain from labor as well as the nail. Enduring the pain, she freed her foot and went to the basement to turn on the emergency red lights. As she was going back up, she saw a monster. Evelyn set a timer alarm. At that time, Lee and Marcus returned. When Marcus saw the red lights, he understood that a monster had attacked the house. If it entered, both his wife and he would die. Inside, the monster was approaching Evelyn, who was screaming in pain. Suddenly, the timer went off and the monster followed the sound. Evelyn reached the door, but another monster was outside. Lee gave Marcus a torch and signaled him to set off a flare so the monsters would follow the sound. Evelyn hid in a tub, holding back the baby's birth. Marcus set off the flare, drawing the monsters away. Regan saw the flare and ran home. Lee entered the house, saw blood on the floor, and followed it to the bathroom. Seeing blood in the tub, he thought the monster had killed his wife. But then he heard a sound from inside when he opened the door. Evelyn was there with the baby. Lee took Evelyn and the baby to the basement. But the baby's cries brought the monster again. Lee placed an oxygen mask on the baby and sealed him in the box to block the sound. Meanwhile, Regan was on her way home when a monster followed her. But the frequency from the device in her ear hurt the monster and it ran away. Regan didn't realize what had happened. She went to pick up a torch, but Marcus stopped her and hugged her. Lee came out of the basement to find his children, but the monsters were gone. The kids had lit a fire so their father could find them. At that time, a pipe burst and water filled the basement. Evelyn saw a monster there. From a distance, she looked at the baby's box, fearing the monster had eaten the child. But when she reached closer, the baby was safe inside. As she picked up the baby, the monster rose from the water. Evelyn hid in the noise of the water, which masked the baby's cries. And the monster was confused. Regan and Marcus argued in sign language. Regan told him their father wouldn't come and she was going to find him. Suddenly, Marcus fell into a grain silo and was sinking. Regan dropped a door inside and jumped in to save him. Marcus climbed on the door, but Regan began sinking too. Marcus grabbed her hand and pulled her up, and they both survived. But the noise attracted a monster, which left Evelyn and came towards them. Inside the silo, the frequency from Regan's device once again drove the monster away. The children came outside, and Lee arrived, hugging them both. But then they heard the monster's sounds again. The kids ran into a car while Lee picked up an axe. A monster attacked, striking Lee. Marcus screamed, "Dad!" The monster turned towards Marcus and Regan. Regan's device released frequency again, but she turned it off, her biggest mistake. Lee stood up and realized the only way to save his children was to sacrifice himself. In his final moment, he signed to Regan, "I love you very much," and then shouted loudly. The monster rushed at Lee and killed him. The children returned home and cried with their mother over their father's death. In the basement, Regan discovered all the devices her father had made for her and finally realized how much he loved her. Suddenly, another monster appeared. It was about to attack when Regan read Lee's notes and understood that her device's frequency hurt the monsters. She turned it on, and the monster staggered. Regan placed the device against a microphone, amplifying the sound, which brought the monster down. But as it rose to attack again, Evelyn shot it with a gun and killed it. However, the sound of the gun attracted more monsters. But now the family was no longer afraid. They had a powerful weapon. And with that, the movie ends. If you want the second part of this movie, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you'll get notifications of the next upload. See you in the next video. Take care. Goodbye.